There's the exits where you came in, and there's one just through this door over here. And who's left the phone on? Ah, there you go, I knew it would be you. Okay. So, good evening and welcome family and friends and new acquaintances to this rehearsal reading of my mini play, Grandma's Homecoming. Hopefully I will have a few new friends at the end of an hour or so, and also hopefully at the end my friends will have not reverted to being just acquaintances and my family will not have disowned me. This is a mad story. Some people may not believe it and think it drops out of my warped brain, which I do have, but it's all true. A few small details have been slightly altered. For instance, squeezing 180 miles onto a 10-foot by 6-foot stage, and turning a Ford Sierra estate car into 2 chairs. And also, I've changed the names of my siblings, otherwise they would definitely disown me. But as payback, I've called my younger sister Doris, which makes me laugh at least. The play is of course dedicated to my wonderful mother Hannah, Anne in the play, who was an amazing mum and grandma. And I hope she will put down her harp for an hour to have a chuckle. And I'm sure the other angels nearby will appreciate the break. To my father Les, who may actually put down this heavenly racing post, and whose sense of humour I've probably inherited. And lastly to my wonderful wife Annette, who I lost almost 7 years ago now. She was amazing on the day in question, and I still no idea how she put up with me for the other 18,250 days that we were together. The proceeds of the play will be going to the British Heart Foundation. Mum died of a faulty heart. High Cancer Charity and Bury Hospice, who were wonderful when Annette was terminal. A very special thanks goes to the tremendous help and generosity of the Whitefield Garrick, who took time out from their busy schedules to loan us their theatre and expertise, especially to James Murphy, who's on the back here. You can clap, bro. Pete Haig and Phil Cohen, who aren't here, but taught my son Ilan how to do the lighting and the tech stuff, and to my grandson, my 13-year-old grandson Ethan, who's done all the video stuff. But the real massive thank you to the director Andrew Close, who's at the back here. It must have been like herding cats to start with, and thank goodness he brought a lasso. Now for the cast, all friends and family. Firstly, my partner, retired TA Ros Cotson, who looked at me as though I was mad when I asked her to play my dead mum. I know she doesn't just lie there. To my son-in-law's mum, former ballerina Liz Rubin. She plays my late wife Annette. To our wonderful narrator Pauline the Church, a retired English literacy teacher. And to the woman with 1,000 voices, former journalist Judy Krebs. She plays my sister Doris, a postwoman, BBC newsreader, and the obnoxious Bonnie. And last and definitely not least, klezmer musician and poet from Radcliffe, Sean Fitton, who happily reads my poem that I wrote for the play without any ego. His new poetry book, Multiplastic, is at the back for anybody who would like to buy it. It's really good, especially the one about thumping the fascists in the face. Sean plays my brother-in-law Philip, the obnoxious Reg, the Brummy DJ, and Jim the caretaker. Okay, and definitely least is myself, who plays myself and keeps getting it wrong. And I also play my dad Les, who is now Len. Anyone wants to have a chat in the cuppa at the end of it is most welcome. Thank you. I don't know what you're clapping for because nobody's done anything yet.
Act 1, October the 25th, 1996. Howard and Annette are sitting in their car on the M1 motorway, northbound near Luton. The car is not moving. Nothing is moving. There are long silences and even longer looks. Then Annette glances behind and lifts up the corner of the quilt behind her in the car. She pauses and lowers it slowly. She looks straight ahead.
Please tell me I'm wrong. Tell me to wake up. I must be having a nightmare. Throw some water over me, pinch me, fart, do anything. Just wake me up.
You are awake, Annette. I wish you were asleep. How long are you going to go on about this? Not such a big deal.
They're silent for several seconds. Then Annette slowly looks at Howard, then looks forward through the windscreen. She looks behind the seat, reaches back and lifts up the quilt cover again, pauses for a few seconds, lowers the cover, turns to look at Howard again.
Not such a big deal! Are you mad? We've got a dead woman in the back of our car!
It's not a dead woman, it's just my mum who happens to be dead.
They sit in silence.
You've never complained about having mum in the back of the car before, have you? What's the difference?
Chatting with her about her bread pudding recipes is a big difference. Talking about her varicose veins and her woman's problems would be better. Even asking us when we're going to produce another grandchild because little Mrs. Kevin's got 16 and she's only got 15 would be better. Annoying, but better. But the most important difference, Howard, is the undisputed fact that on all previous journeys, she was breathing.
Annette looks forward for a few seconds, then continues.
When did you three hatch this little plot? Make sure Simple Annette goes to register Mum's death and get the paperwork and be out of the way while you move the consignment just like James Bond. More like 00 Schmundrick. And why did you all think I would object to it?
Because you would have. Not only that, knowing you, there would probably been a few more dead people in the family.
I couldn't understand why we had the seat down and a great big quilt in the back of the car. And what a way to tell me. How long did it take to work out that? How did you tell me? Oh, yes. Knock, knock. Who's there? Guess. Guess who? Guess who's in the back of the car?
Well, I thought it was very creative. You know, to lessen the impact. Inject a little humour on a sad day. Anyway, don't you think that you're overreacting a bit? I think you must be hungry. You know, hungry. I'm angry. Your sugars are low. You've not eaten. I told you we should have brought some sandwiches.
Hungry? Hungry? Well, why didn't we bring a picnic? It would have been lovely. We haven't moved for half an hour. We could have parked on the central reservation of the M1, got out the camp chairs. Mum could have had the red one with the arms. You would have eaten her sandwiches, and we could have shoved the sun umbrella down the back of her jumper. Oh, so how exactly did this trip from hell, or should I say trip to heaven, come about?
Well, you remember when we came down in September? I spent a lot of time talking to Mum. Anyway.
Act 2, the 27th of September, Watford at Doris's house. Howard opens the door and walks into the makeshift bedroom at Doris's house near Watford and kisses his mother.
Hi, Mum. How you feeling? Still vertical, I see. Finally made it from Manchester. What a flipping awful trip. 6 hours, roadworks for miles, gasping for a cup of tea.
Oh, I'm not too bad, thanks. I was up for a few hours before you got here. I managed to have a bed bath when that lovely girl Jenny came this morning. She's lovely. She comes every day to get me up. She's always so nice to me and happy. I don't know how she does it. She has a terrible life at home, an abusive husband who tries to keep her pregnant all the time. 5 children in 6 years. I told her to get some of those pill things, so she has done. She hides them in his toolkit. It's the one place in the house he'd never find them.
There you go, interfering in people's lives again. We'll get into trouble one of these days.
I'll be dead soon anyway. How much more trouble could I get into? Oh, on top of heart failure, I could get to verruca. Quick, send for a podiatrist before I pop my infected clots. Anyway, I'm a good judge of people, so I always know when to keep my mouth shut and when to open it.
You are hilarious, Mum, but I don't think you're such a good judge of character as you think you are.
Why? Whatever are you saying?
Well, you know Julie, who you made friends with in the hospital.
Oh, of course, she was lovely. She was in the next bed to me. She was in the hospital for weeks every year with cystic fibrosis. She really looked after me. We'd chat for hours and she would have takeaways delivered to the ward. Such a nice person, a good person.
Yeah, you really landed on your feet with Julie. She was very good to you. You invited her down to London when Doris took her out of the hospital, didn't you?
Yes, I do hope she makes it down before, you know. Doris has tried calling her, but she may have changed her phone. She's got her address. She's going to write her a letter and invite her down.
Have you got her new address? She's moved.
Has she? How do you know? Have you kept in touch with her? What's her address?
It was in the Manchester Evening News, front page, photo. Her new address and everything. Her Majesty's Prison style. Wilmslow, SK9 4HR.
What are you talking about? Lovely Julie.
I brought you the paper to see for yourself, look. After an argument, Julie Jones ran over her drug dealer Tommy Turner in her disability car, killing him on the spot. She was given a life sentence. Police are still looking for her an accomplice, an elderly lady who seems to have disappeared from the hospital more than she was.
What? Let me see that. You're such a liar. It doesn't say anything about me.
Aha, so you admit being her accomplice.
Oh, stop taking the mickey, Howard. I just can't believe it. She was such a nice girl, always happy.
I'm not flipping surprised. I don't think we're just getting high on KFC delivered to the hospital. I missed out on some wacky-backy. It's years since my art student days.
I can't believe you took drugs when you were doing your degree. It could have affected your whole health and personality.
It did. I never had the sense of humour before I went there. But seriously, how are you? You're looking great.
You've always been a terrible liar, Howard. You know I'm very near the end now, a bit worse every day. I just have to keep going for another 4 weeks.
Of course, you're the 23rd, your 80th birthday. I'm sure you'll make it.
You should know me better than that, Howard. I don't care about my birthday. I just don't want to die on Paul's birthday in 3 weeks' time. Can you imagine how bad it would be that on every birthday your main memory is of your grandmother passing away? I don't want that. I would much rather have it that none of my 15 grandchildren remember that day. Well, not till at least they see the Yorkside Memorial candles that my children light for me. You will light a Yorkside for me, won't you, Howard? I know that you don't know how to do Kaddish, the mourner's prayer. Will you at least light a memorial candle for me?
Of course I will light a Yorkside. And I'm sure that one of my siblings will remind me when it will be with this Jewish calendar. Take the day, add 2 weeks, subtract 2 days if United win the league, and divide by 3 oranges. Only Jaffas, of course. I've never really understood why, after 10 years in a Jewish school, 11 years on a kibbutz on the Golan in Israel, 4 years at university in Jerusalem, and 8 years in the army, my spoken Hebrew is so poor, and I still can't read it. I think it's a kind of Hebrew dyslexia.
Well, everyone over there speaks English and wants to practice, so it's more difficult. It's not as though your life depended on it.
Really? I'll never forget once when I was in the army in Lebanon, we came under fire. My officer screamed something at me in Hebrew. I was stood there like a stupid glump until he shouted in English, "Hit the effing deck!" I've still got a limp from that day.
You Ligner, such a liar. You told me the limp was from an ingrowing toenail operation that went wrong, not from being shot.
I wasn't shot. Okay, this is a bit embarrassing. I don't tell people, so it's for your ears only, and yes, soon to go to the grave. Actually, I was having a dump behind a prickly bush. There was a tremendous boom. I literally pooed myself. I jumped so high when he screamed at me that it was almost as loud as the Katyusha rocket that parted my hair a second later. I landed in the prickles, my trousers around my ankles, screaming with a whole roll of toilet paper blowing in the wind from my bum. When I tried to run, I went head over heels, everything on display, rolling down the hill onto a sharp rock with my right knee. When the firing eventually died down, I still didn't get any help because my comrade in arms couldn't stop laughing.
Oh, Howard, stop it. You're going to finish me off. Oh.
I tell you, that made me a bit religious. A friend of mine had been badly injured on that Miller reserve duty. He took my place on a patrol and stepped on a mine. It was the last thing he ever stepped on. When I got back to my art and design course at Bezalel in Jerusalem a week later, I visited the Western Wall. I didn't know what to do or to say, so I stood there for a while. I kissed the wall, said Toda Rabah, thank you, and left. Look, I'll try my best to learn the Kaddish, but I may drift into English. I don't want to learn it parrot fashion. I need to understand and feel the words I'm saying. I think that's important. I mean, I wouldn't sign a confession in an Argentinian police station in Spanish without an English translation. So talking to God is a lot more serious than spending 20 years in an Argentinian prison with very friendly inmates.
When were you in an Argentinian jail? You never tell me anything. I didn't know you'd even been there. It's very dangerous, you know. They sank the Falklands.
I love you, Mum.
I love you too, Dolly. Well, your father of a Sholem couldn't speak Hebrew as well as you can, but he knew all the prayers. Oh, I've missed him so much. Can anybody else hear me, Howard?
No, everyone's in the kitchen.
I'm so scared, Howard. I know we all have to die, but it scares me to death. Just thinking about it, and it's so close now. I can feel it. I'm not even sure where I'll be going, you know, when...
Look, Mum, I'm not going to lie to you. Nobody looks forward to it. When I was under fire and came very close to it, and some of my friends came much closer, in fact some of them died, I thought about it a lot. So all I can say is, it's okay to be afraid of dying. We don't know how hard or how easy the end is going to be. But you don't need to be afraid of death, because at worst, you're just a light bulb that switches off, and that's it. Or if you've been a nasty piece of work, you'll go down, down, down to you know where. Just make sure you take some suntan cream. But you've been a good, decent person all your life. Everyone else came first for you, especially your family. So what I think will happen is that you'll close your eyes, and when you open them, there standing in front of you will be your mother, who you last saw when you were 17, your father Zadie, your brother and sister, in fact all the people you've ever loved have passed, even Peter the Budgie, and Dad too, if he's not had the bucket because someone gave him a tip. Anyway, God will be waiting for you, and I can prove it.
How can you do that? How can you prove that?
Well, not long after we arrived at the kibbutz on the Golan Heights to live, Darren must have been about 4. There was a great big thunderstorm on the other side of the Jordan Valley, across the Sea of Galilee over Tiberias. As it wasn't raining over the kibbutz, I said to Darren, let's go and sit on the security light box and watch the storm. It was terrific. After a few minutes, Darren said, "Daddy, I know where thunder and lightning comes from." "Do you?" I said. "Where does it come from?" "God," he answered. There was a pause when he suddenly asked, "Do you think that if I asked God to make a really, 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 really big lightning, he would do it for me?" "I don't know. Why don't you try asking?" I replied. "God," he said, "can you do a really, really big lightning for me, please?" There was instantly the biggest flash of lightning I've ever seen in my life. It must have gone from fat to a fuller. It was as bright as the surface of the sun. I jumped out of my skin, out of my shirt and my jeans in total shock. I looked down at Darren, and he looked up at me with his big brown innocent eyes and calmly said, "See?"
Have you just made that up? I know what you're like.
I swear it really happened. And I don't know if it was a coincidence or Thor, the god of thunder, but for the sake of this argument, it was God. And you can prove me wrong when you find out. You'll be surrounded by love, goodness and happiness. Time will have no meaning, and you will learn the greatest secret of them all, life, the universe and everything.
They sit in silence. They don't talk for several seconds. Mum stops crying. Howard holds her close, and they can just hear the birds singing.
So what's the secret of life, the universe and everything?
I don't flipping well know. I've not been dead yet. And if I did know, it wouldn't be a secret, would it? When you're sitting on a cloud playing your harp and you see me limping over to you, you can tell me the secret of life, the universe and everything, but just don't say the answer's 42.
Oh, Howard, you are a tonic. I feel better already. Anyway, I'm tone deaf. And what's 42?
That's part of the secret, Mum.
Even though she doesn't get the joke, Mum laughs and then gets serious.
Listen, Howard, I need to talk to you about something. I overheard your sister on the phone a few days ago. She didn't know Jenny had taken me to the bathroom. She was talking to the funeral people in Manchester.
Mum starts to sob again. Howard comforts her and gives her a tissue.
I'll have a word with her, Mum. There are a few procedures that we need to put in place first. She can be forgetful. Number one, you need to have kicked the bucket. There's one in the kitchen. Should I get it for you?
There you go again. You can even make a joke about me dying and get me laughing.
Act 3. A few days before, at Doris's house. Doris is on the phone.
How much? Say that again. £1,500 to take my mother's body back to Manchester? Is that first class or business class? Will she have in-flight entertainment and free bed socks? What? Oh, you think I'm being facetious? You do know that she's been paying into the burial fund for 60 years. Is that just for the plot? No. Oh, what is it for, the box? Oh, don't you do a cardboard one? Well, it's cheap, good for the environment, and you could get some extra money by printing adverts on the side of it. Memorial stone and roses at special discount prices. What? No, I'm not joking. I'm just giving you free business advice. I mean, isn't there any discount or anything? No. Nothing? Blimey. What? Oh, I don't know. Bog off, maybe. No, I'm not. I'm not being abusive at all. Have you never heard of buy one, get one free? I now have another candidate for a hole in the ground. Who else? Well, I'm going to murder my husband, Philip, if he keeps leaving his underpants on the floor. I mean, I'm always up for a good deal. Thank you, goodbye.
Did you call me? I thought I heard my name.
You did. I'm fed up of picking your sweaty clothes off the floor. Why can't you put them in the laundry basket?
I've just been on a 10-mile run. I needed to get into the shower.
I wish you'd do a 10-mile run every day.
Why? You want me as a super fit run machine?
God forbid. No, because in a year you'd be in John O'Groats.
Act 4, the 27th of September. Howard and Mum are still chatting in the makeshift bedroom at Doris's house.
Oh, I've been such a burden to you all, Doris and you especially. It costs you a lot to be driving down from Manchester every fortnight, and I know you've been really struggling. What arriving back in this country with no job, no house, no money, but 5 beautiful children. And Doris hasn't had it easy since Philip lost the business, and your sister Scarlett in New Zealand going through a bad divorce at the moment. And your brother Gene, well, you know Gene and his troubles.
Not as much as a burden as being called Doris. Did you call her that for a bet?
Oh, you know very well that I love the pictures, and you're all named after a film star, or from a big film on the day you were all born. My handsome Howard Keel. Oh, and the amazing Gene Kelly. What a dancer and what teeth. And Doris Day. She was so beautiful in the pyjama game.
Well, that didn't rub off on our Doris, did it? And blimey, it would have been perfect if Scarlett would have been born 6 months later. You'd have called her Pinocchio.
Oh, stop it. You're doing it again. You're just like your father, Avashalom. And stop being so cruel to your sisters.
Look, anyway, don't worry, Mum. I'll sort it out. You know me, I'll think of something. I always do.
That's what worries me. Remind me about the time you thought removing wallpaper with a blow lamp was a good idea. Did you ever take a cake to say thank you to the fire brigade?
No, I burnt it. And I was only about 8 at the time.
Oh, you're just like your dad. Did I ever tell you about the time we were at that wedding?
Act 5, a hotel in Manchester. A large table with the remnants of a wedding meal, wine bottles and lots of used glasses, plates, flowers and general detritus. Mum, Anne, and Dad, Len, are sitting with another couple.
This is rubbish wine, Bonnie, me kitten. I wouldn't even call it wine. Your Waitrose Artisan fine malt vinegar tastes better than this muck. And it costs 20 quid a bottle. This muck probably only cost a £5 a bottle. Here, fill me up.
I told you it would be, Reggie Pooh. I mean, look at the flowers. Were they pinched from the cemetery over the road? And who wants to be looking at the cemetery when you go to a wedding? We have all our functions at the Midland Hotel, you know. Wherever we walk through the doors there, they jump to attention. And they come running up to us. And they all know our names. And they never smile at us the way they do with everyone else. Smiling is not very professional, you know, for the staff. We don't put up with it.
And we don't smile at them, do we, Bonnie? Oh, no, that wouldn't do at all.
Bonnie, my arse.
Len, you should feel sorry for them.
Sorry for them. How do you work that one out?
Because the only thing they've got is money.
What was that wine we had at our Jemima's debutante do? Chateau Beau de Lace.
Oh, look at when you speak French, friend. I can't stand the French, though. They're always putting on that stupid accent, trying to be sexy all the time.
You are sexy all the time, kitten.
Oh, Red, stop it. You sound like when we was back in our suite in the Bahamas.
Oh, look at this crockery. More rubbish.
Oh yes, it's very poor. All our crockery is Royal Dalton.
Hey Anne, that's the same make as our toilet.
Act 6. Back in Watford, Howard and Mum continue talking.
And as for being a burden on us, Mum, how much of a burden have we all been for you? We were always clean and tidy going to school, with hair brushed, even my mum. And when times were at the toughest, there was always food on the table, even that disgusting Vinnie Haddock. In fact, when I got married to Annette, our wedding vows were, do promise to love, cherish and obey and never darken my door with Vinnie Haddock.
What? You didn't like it? I never heard you say that.
It must have been before you got your hearing aids, because we told you 1,000 times you'd say, eat it all up, there's children starving in Africa. And I'd say, oh yeah, name one. But with you, family always came first. Always there with sound advice. You'd look after us when we were sick, raise the baby, sit at the drop of a hat, and drown us all with love. I know it doesn't come natural, but now it's our turn to look after you, Mum.
Well, you can't magic me back to Manchester, and I can't go on the bus, even with my bus pass.
You know what, Mum? I've just had a light bulb moment.
What's going on in that crazy mind of yours? I know that you're an inventor, but you can't invent your way out of this.
Howard looks his mum up and down.
How tall are you?
That's a funny question. I don't need any new clothes.
No, I'm serious. You're about 5 foot. You know what? You're going in the back of the estate car.
What? Are you mad? I know I must have done some damage when I dropped you on your head as a baby.
Act 7. 1 month later, on a Friday morning, Howard and Annette are travelling south on the M6 towards Watford. The radio is on.
It's 7:30 a.m. and here is the news. The government today
Oh,
announced
switch
that
that
their
rubbish
policy
off.
regarding
I'm
youth-
sick of it. It's been the same since we jumped in the car at 6 o'clock. Those flipping politicians. Oh, they keep telling us how good everything is. John Major, he should be called John Minor. Can you believe how much the petrol just cost us? 52 pence a litre. Scandalous. That's £2 a gallon. When we were kids, you could get 4 gallons for £1.
Here we go again. Go on, say it. And a Mars bar for 4 old pence, a lucky bag for a threepenny bit, 4 mojos for a penny, and a good old dose of typhoid for free.
Oh, very funny. I'm not kidding. In 20 years, it'll probably be 75 pence a litre. But I expect we'll all have flying cars by then. Did you bring the London A to Z and the map just in case? I'm glad I packed when we were ready to go, with the call from Doris. I hope we get to see Mum in time. It didn't sound good though.
They sit in silence for a bit.
This new phone is amazing. It does text messages. Just don't use them, they cost 40 pence a go. And £1 a minute to speak. Emergencies only.
Something catches Howard's eye and he turns to look behind him in the rear seat. He then looks at Annette.
She's gone.
What? What makes you say that? How do you know?
Because I just looked behind you and she was sat there for a second. She smiled and she was gone.
Don't be silly, Howard. It'll have been the sunlight on the window.
Annette, you know that we're a very psychic family. It was Mum.
The phone rings. They both look at it, then Annette answers.
Hi, Doris. Yes, we know. I'm so sorry, Doris. She was a wonderful mother. Yes. No rush now. Yes, we'll stop for a coffee and maybe some breakfast.
She hangs up and looks at Howard.
Well, that's weird. She never even asked how we knew. But she was upset and crying, so I didn't ask.
She didn't need to ask how we knew. Like I said, we're a very psychic family. Do you know how many times it saved my life? What about that plane crash I saw last year, the one in China? I told you about it the day before it happened. Even though it crashed into a mountain, I told you that there were survivors. I need to stop for a bit. I need a coffee and a hug.
Act 8. 10 a.m. at Doris and Philip's house. Howard and Annette have arrived. There's hugging and tears all round.
So what happened?
Doris is too upset to answer, so Philip steps in.
Your mum was out of it last night when the nurse came. She made her comfortable, but it's all she could do. She said that she was close to the end now. At 11 o'clock I was going to phone you to come down, but Doris said no, we should let you sleep. There was nothing that could be said or done, and you needed to get some sleep, because today will be a long day for you both. Mum was a strong person, and we'd phone you in the morning to come down. Doris sat up with her all night, but at 5 o'clock her breathing got very strained, and she woke me up when I called you. I'm so sorry we didn't call earlier. You could have been here when she passed.
No, Doris was correct. She knew what a long, stressful day it would be today. She's so much like Mum. She would have done the same. Always thinking about others. So what happens now?
I've called the GP. The doctor will come round to give us the death certificate after his surgery. We take it to register the death and we get the paperwork for the funeral.
So is the ambulance of death on its way?
Doris looks at Philip. Philip looks at Howard, and Howard looks at Annette. Then back at Philip.
It's all sorted, Annette.
Act 9. Howard goes in to see his mum. She's just lying there in a darkened room.
Hi, Mum. You look like you're having a schloff.
Howard strokes her hair back and kisses her forehead. He holds his mother's hand and collapses to his knees, sobbing, and buries his head in the quilt.
No. You've gone.
Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth feels like everything is missing.
Act 10. Outside Doris and Philip's house.
Okay, you back the car as close as you can to the front door. It doesn't make for great neighbourly relations to be schlepping your dead mother out of the house. I'll make sure she's packed.
Packed? Packed? What are you talking about? Packed?
She came down with a load of schmodries. Pictures, books, she was always reading, clothes, a china cup, makeup.
Philip, stop. Are you nuts? She's gone. She's not an Egyptian pharaoh who needs to be buried with her bed, her comb, a hairdresser and a manicurist. Why didn't you just call the Tutankhamun?
Okay? I'll sort out the quilt. We'll need to wrap her in it, unless you're planning to stick her in the back seat.
Oh yeah, that'll work. I'll put her in the back seat. We can put a seatbelt on. We don't want to have an accident, do we? And we can fasten a rubber bungee rope round her hand so she can wave to everyone like the Queen.
No, you are being silly. Anyway, I don't have a bungee rope. I'll sort the quilt.
Howard and Philip are struggling to carry Mum through the front door, which keeps trying to close. They're kicking it open all the time, and they're just halfway over the threshold when...
Morning! Post for ya! Blimey! That looks just like a dead body!
Yes, I suppose it does a bit. We've wrapped a load of old carpet bits in this old quilt. It's a real dead weight, I can tell you.
Well, I can give you a lift if you want. You told me last week your back was knackered.
No, it's okay. We're almost done, it was just to pull the muscle. I'm fine now, just put the post on the car roof, Tab.
Okay, will do. Oh! You need to sign for this letter. I'll get your pen and paper, dear. There you are. Sign there. When you're ready.
Philip and Howard look at the letter, then at each other, and with little shuffling steps, carry the carpet back into the hall,
I just
knocking
said that.
it on the door. Well, yeah, sorry. Philip goes out and signs for the letter.
Well, that didn't look suspicious at all, did it? Have a great day.
Act 11. 2:30 p.m. in a traffic jam on the M1, heading north. The radio is on.
And it's the usual Friday afternoon problems. Long hold-ups on the northbound M1 from junctions 18 to 30 and on the M6, junction 3 through Birmingham, northbound to junction 12.
It's okay, don't panic. We can take the M6 toll. I hate the M6 through Birmingham, especially on a Friday. It's a nightmare.
And a serious accident has closed the M6 toll road in both directions. Police say avoid the area at all costs.
Well, that's bloody fantastic. It's 2:30. The rabbi at Heathland's retirement village said we could drop Mum off at their morgue for the weekend, which was very nice of him, and the break will do her the world of good. But we have to be there before Shabbos at 6 o'clock. Oh, what else could possibly go wrong?
Welcome back. This is the start of your fabulous weekend with the thermometer smashing the all-time record for October of 30 degrees this afternoon in the Midlands.
Annette sniffs and looks back, a sour look on her face.
So tell me again why we don't have aircon. I'm sweating like a pig. I'm wringing wet. My t-shirt's stuck to me and I'm sliding around my seat. And Lord alone knows what your mother is doing. But whatever it is, it's not pleasant and I wish she'd stop it.
It cost me enough money to have the car serviced and MOT'd. And what the hell is a CV boot? Whatever it was broken and cost another £150 to fix. I thought, it's October. Nobody needs aircon until next July. And that's just for one afternoon between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock.
Oh, it just couldn't get any worse. Well, at least it'll be nice weather for the funeral on Sunday.
But take care on Sunday as torrential thunderstorms are forecast, especially in northwest England.
I need a wee. I'm desperate.
What? Why didn't you say that at the last last service station that we happily drove past at a blistering 15 miles an hour. That would have been a very convenient convenience. But you're in luck. There's a sign there that says Watford Gap service station, 10 miles. At 60 miles an hour, we could be there in 10 minutes. There's only one problem. We're doing 5 miles an hour. Can you hang on for 2 hours?
No way! I really, really need the loo. You'll have to pull onto the hard shoulder.
You are joking, aren't you? There's a deceased mum in the back of the car and a police car behind her. Would you like to spend the rest of the day explaining the situation we find ourselves in the local nick? By the time we get to Manchester, it'll be Shabbos, far too late to use the Heathlands morgue. What will we do then?
I really, really need the loo.
Okay, empty that Tesco bag with Mum's clothes in it. She won't mind if you get a bit creased. You can pee in that.
Are you joking? How am I supposed to do that?
Well, you were the athlete. Work it out. Just don't pee on the seat.
Oh, it would only be an improvement in this for Stunkermobile.
Maybe you could point your bum in the other direction. I don't have windscreen wipers on the inside.
I tried that, and that big hairy truck driver winked at me. Just hold the bag on this side. No, not that, the handle. That's it. Wait. Oh, that's better. What a relief. Oh, now what do we do with a bag full of wee?
Nothing at the moment. Blimey, I need to go now. Just hold it there. No, not that. The bag, you twit. Oh, hell. I can't stop now. This flipping bus is overtaking us. They're 20 nuns. Walking through the window, they're all laughing at my old man. What does that sign say in the back of the bus? St. Monica's Seminary. Well, I wish they'd say a prayer for us to get Mum back in time. Oh, we could do some divine intervention.
Don't be saying a prayer for me after seeing your widget.
Should I take that as a compliment or an insult? Don't answer. I don't want to be scarred for life. Oh, well, that's a good thing. We're finally moving. After all your contortionism, we could probably hold out onto our modesty after all.
Modest, you! Oh, pull into the service station anyway. I need to stretch my legs and I'm starving.
They park up at the service station.
Right, let's go. Oh, I could eat a horse.
Be careful what you wish for. The last time you said that you could eat a horse was in France in 1973. And you did. And you got the troughs. Anyway, we can't both go in together. I'm not leaving Mum in the car by herself. Can you imagine if it was stolen? I'll stay with her. You can go and get some food.
Annette gets out of the car and heads to the service station building.
Well, Mum, we're alone at last. We're going to miss you so much. You were always there for us. You were the very, very best. The only thing more important to you was your family, us, the kids, your grandkids. How you and Dad managed to bring up the four of us, I'll never know. Your own mother passed away when you were 17, and it fell on you to bring up your brother and sister, even though you weren't the eldest. But you were the responsible one, the clever one. But no university for you. No, you were just a girl. It was a sewing machine in a factory, unlike your brother who went off to become a leading doctor. They'd never sell ice cream that small. But the family joke wasn't really funny, if you think about it. You said you were a doctor, a lawyer, a historian, a financial manager and a teacher. If anyone had a question, you always had a good answer. Your head was always in a book. No wonder you were so knowledgeable about everything. And with very little money, there was always a meal on the table. Good basic cooking and baking. Your blintzers, your bread pudding, your roast potatoes, in fact. Everything was wonderful. You are our standard. Is it as good as Grandma's? You cook with love. Oh, here's Annette with a bag of food and some drinks. No, not the McDonald's I was hoping for. She knows that you keep kosher, so I'm guessing out of respect for you. But then, when you chat with God, when you go upstairs on Sunday, maybe you could ask him if fighting to protect the Jewish state balances out against the old McDonald's.
Annette opens the car door and climbs in.
Oh, McDonald's was shut, power cut. It was either some monkey-looking egg mayonnaise sandwiches or monkey-looking smoked salmon and cream cheese bagels. I got one of each. We can share and both be sure to get food poisoning.
Howard looked guiltily behind him towards her.
Mum probably shorted out the electrics at McDonald's. She decided that we should have the bagels.
What are you on about? Mum, what? Oh. Actually, I know. This must be one of the most difficult days of your life, and you've been amazing. I can't imagine anyone else I know doing this.
Annette leans over and kisses him on the cheek.
Okay, let's eat. Potato on, bon appetit.
The phone rings and Howard answers it.
Oh, hello, Rabbi. Yeah, a very difficult day. No, Annette isn't driving. We're stopped for a quick break at the Watford Gap. Yeah, we're only here. The traffic's been terrible, but it seems to have eased a bit. Yeah, we hope to be there before Shabbat. Yeah, we've looked by 5:15. Oh yes, Rabbi, plenty of choice to eat at the service station. They've even got bagels and cream cheese with smoked salmon. No, I didn't know there's a McDonald's. Okay, thank you, Rabbi. See you soon, Baruch Hashem.
You'll go straight to hell for lying to a rabbi, and we need all the divine help we can get to be there before Shabbat. I hope you've not jinxed us.
How did I lie? I didn't see McDonald's, and you bought the bagels. Luckily, we've got Mum to help us. Now, let's get moving. I'll eat on the move.
Act 12. 5:20, still in traffic. Howard looks ahead at the traffic jam.
We haven't moved an inch in half an hour, and there isn't anyone working in the roadworks. Roadworks? What a contradiction in term that is. Should be called road flag breaks. Apparently, the biggest cause of death for road construction workers is caffeine poisoning. I bet the companies get paid on a daily rate. It's never going to end. In China, they'd have finished it in a week with using a shovel and a hammer, as well as building 300 new hospitals for a bowl of rice a day. There's no fancy diggers in China, just 10 billion workers. Mind you, they would need hospitals for all those poor workers that get hit by shovels and hammers.
You can't say that about China. You sound like Alf Garner to my granddad. They have all the sophisticated machinery that we have, but more so there. And there aren't 10 billion people in the whole world.
And you think that stuffing yourself at the Pagoda Jewish Chinese restaurant makes you the head of the Chinese Economic Mission to the United Nations?
Maybe. If I do see a worker, I could roll down the window and say, "Excuse me, mate, any chance of letting us through? I've got a mother-in-law decomposing in here and it's getting a bit whiffy."
Mate, are you going to burst into tune? My old man's a dustman and he wears a dustman's hat. He wears gold blinding trousers and lives in a council flat.
Have you got to joke about everything? This is serious. The rabbi told your sister we needed to be at the morgue before Shabbos came in at 5:53. Even you can't get from Birmingham to Manchester in half an hour. Oh, what are we going to do with a dead body in the back of the car?
Why don't we just leave her in the car? She's covered in a 13-top quilt.
Well, that should keep her lovely and warm, shouldn't it? I don't know why I didn't think of that. You're a genius. We can get the undertaker to make her a banana-shaped coffin, because by Sunday she'd probably be quite happy to stay exactly as she is right now.
She's not sat in the back of the car, and it's a Sierra Estate. She's only a bit bent.
Howard, are you mad? We need to go shopping at Tesco's and the deli to get bagels and stuff for the people coming from out of town for the funeral. Do you think we can stuff all the food bags round her? They break about 1,000 health and safety laws. Not to mention the morality of balancing chopped herring and smoked salmon on her head. Oh, show a bit of respect, Howard.
Okay, I know. You not think I've been racking my brains thinking what to do. It'll be Friday night soon. The funeral company aren't answering the phone. I left a message on their answer machine saying that we're driving around with a deceased mother in the back of the car. They probably thought it was either a hoax call or Sodom. They should have used our deluxe ambulance service. I can't delete the message now.
It's Friday afternoon. They'll be getting ready for shul. How many times in the last 50 years do you think they've received a call on a Friday afternoon from a Meshuggah son schlepping a dead mum up and down the M6 motorway? I'm guessing never. Oh, we won't even have the paperwork till Sunday because that idiot doctor wrote died of old age on the death certificate. Nobody's allowed to die from old age anymore. Should have said a leaking what's on the doofer in the heart. Careful! We'll be in trouble if you get pulled over by the police for speeding.
Speeding? Are you mad? I haven't moved in ages. Little Mrs. Cohen and a pair of plimsolls could go faster than us.
Oh, at least Doris and Philip managed to get the certificate altered and got an emergency appointment with the registrar, so we'll have the green slip on Sunday morning. The funeral people wouldn't have played pass the parcel with us. Sorry, pass the grandma without that piece of paper. Any more smart ideas of what to do with her?
She'll have to go in the lounge. What else can we do? We'll have to get her up the garden path, then up 6 steps, through the front door, and onto the decorating table. That should hold her. She's only about 6 stone. But she's the dead weight, and I know what that means now. My back is knackered as it is.
Howard thinks for a few seconds.
Have we still got that hostess trolley in the shed?
Sure, it's there. Under the 3 broken deck chairs, 2 broken lawnmowers that will come in useful one day, and the brand new 5-year-old hedge trimmer that's never been used. Are you thinking what I think you're thinking? You're going to put your mum on the hostess trolley and push her up the golden path? Will you plug her in to keep her nice and warm? Can I remind you, we have 5 children. If they hear that Grandma's in the lounge, the younger ones will want to say hello and get a kiss and a hug. There's no lock on the door. Oh, that'd be memorable for them. What would the cost be for therapy over the next 50 years? And can you imagine if the table collapses during the night? Then you'd have the added cost of our divorce.
Okay, what do you suggest then?
Howard turns and looks at his mother.
Come on, Mum. I know you're still with us. We can do a bit of help right now.
Has your cousin Paul still got his late mum-in-law's granny flat at the back of his house? Maybe we could put her in there.
Blimey then. I take back everything I've said about you. You are smart.
Cheeky son.
Okay, and now plug in the phone to that speaker thingy and dial Paul.
Hello?
Hi Paul, it's Howard. How are you? How's Michelle and the kids?
Oh, you know, Michelle still has a problem down below. You told me that Annette had the same problem. Not great for our sex life, is it, Howard? I'm thinking of looking up Dirty Gertie again. That was the best 50 quid I've ever spent.
Annette looks at Howard with a look of disgust and horror on her face.
Paul, we're actually both in the car at the moment and you're on the speaker thing. Say hello to Annette.
I thought, bet you thought I was serious there, Annette. I couldn't tell you were in the car, Howard. I was just joking.
Amazing, Paul, with all your wonderful attributes. You're now psychic. Tell me, what sign am I making now?
No, Annette, not psychic, even though I know that you're far too polite to make any rude signs. But it was easy to tell you were there with Howard by the frost suddenly sticking my phone to my ear. Anyway, how's your mum, Howard? I've heard she wasn't too well.
Well, she's definitely been better, Paul. In fact, she's actually in the car with us right now. We're on our way back from London. Stuck in terrible traffic. We could have walked faster than this.
Well, you couldn't, you lazy sod. Bet your mum could, having a day though. Couldn't you, Auntie Anne? Hey, Auntie Anne! Can't she hear me in the back, Howard? She's not very responsive.
No, she can't hear you. She's not quite with us now. Actually, that's why we called him. You still have Michelle's mum's granny flat next to your place since she passed away?
Yeah, of course I do, you schmerl. What do you think it is? Do you think I've rolled it up and stuck it in the garage? Actually, it was the garage once upon a time.
Well, you talked about renting it out to someone to bring in a bit of extra money.
Oh, right, it's tiny. Who'd want it? There was only room for a double bed and a loo and a shower. Who'd want that?
It would have been very convenient for Dirty Gertie.
Howard! Stop it! Stop being disgusting.
Yes, Howard. Stop being so rude, especially with your mum in the car. I'm sorry, Auntie Anne, but your lad can be very rude. You're very quiet today, Auntie. It's not like you at all. You mustn't be feeling yourself. I can't even hear the traffic. All I can hear is a deathly silence.
Well, there's a good reason for that. We've been stopped on the motorway for the last half hour with the engine off, and it's hot, and we don't have any water, and something else. Would you mind if Mum stayed with you tonight until Sunday in the granny flat? She won't be any bother.
What over for? Has her flat gone? I mean, I'm sure she'd be more comfortable with you guys and the grandchildren. She loves them to bits.
Not that straightforward, Paul.
And the radiator's broken in there. It's freezing. It'd be the death of her.
That would be fine, in fact, a distinct advantage.
What are you going on about, Howard? Have you two fallen out? Aren't you talking or something? You sound like you wanted to catch your death. You were always so close. Hey, Auntie Anne, what's going on with you two? It's my mother who's the lunatic, dumping me in an orphanage at 3, and she ran off with that biker woman. It took me damn weeks to find me. He had to leave the priory till he eventually dumped me with you and Uncle Len till he was clean. They should have called me Stigger the Dumper. Harley.
For God's sake, Howard, will you tell him, or have I got to do everything?
Tell me what? Have I said something to upset you, Annette?
She's dead.
Yeah, I know. My mum died years ago, damn that pothole. No helmet, they say she made another pothole with her head.
No, Paul, not your mum. My mum's dead. She died this morning at Doris and Philip's house in London.
Oh no, Auntie Anne's dead. Oh, I'm devastated. She was like a proper mother to me. She treated me like a son. Hang on. You said that she's with you now in your car. And she wanted to spend the weekend at mine.
I didn't say she wanted to spend the weekend with you, but I'm sure that if she wasn't dead, she'd have loved to have spent the weekend with you and Michelle. If you'd have sorted out that radiator. She never ate much, even less now. But if we don't get her to Heathland's nurse's home Mug before Shabbat at 6 o'clock, we can't take her. So we're up the creek without a paddle, in deep water, in the soup, and in bloody stuck. We stopped in a bonkers traffic jam near Birmingham with half an hour to get to Manchester. Even with divine intervention, we probably won't make it to the next toilet.
Who in their bloody right mind would do that? What schmuck would chuck their mum who's loved and cared for you all your life like a sack of potatoes in the back of the car? And then, when your harebrained plan hits the rock, to use another boating phrase, you want to leave my body with us for the weekend? Talk about hotspur. You know what Michelle's like, she's germphobic. The doctor told me I was the first case she'd ever seen with Dettol poisoning. Makes people take the shoes and socks off and puts them in a plastic bag and gives them disposable slippers when they come here. Should have heard the arguments you had with the meter reader bloke when he was stood there in bare feet and he asked if he could use the toilet. I don't think that rosebush in the garden will ever recover, you know.
Oh, hang on, Paul. The rabbi's trying to get through on the phone. We'll call you back. Oh, hello, Rabbi. No, I've known better days. Yes, thank you, Rabbi. He's driving while standing still. No, we're still stuck in traffic. Near Birmingham. Yes, Rabbi. Friday's a nightmare. Oh? Really? Oh, that's wonderful, Rabbi. We really appreciate it. You're a lifesaver. No, not Mum's.
Annette looks round and whispers.
Oh, thanks, Mum. Sorry, no, I was just thanking Mum, Rabbi. I just asked her to use her connections to get us out of this mess. And you must have heard her. Oh, guardian angel. I really can't thank you enough. And Howard also says thank you too, Rabbi. He's really overcome. He was totally stressed out. Thank you so much, Rabbi. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Howard looks at Annette and raises his eyebrows.
Who was that then?
You idiot. How can you still joke at a time like that? I don't know. That obviously was the rabbi at Heathlands. He said that he cannot believe what we are doing. He said it's such a mitzvah, such a wonderful thing to do for your mother and the family, that it doesn't matter when we get there. Just go to the reception and the caretaker will go round and open up the mortuary.
Howard turns round to his mum.
Thanks, Mum. Love you.
Starting to move. I don't believe it.
See, I told you we were a mystical family.
So why the flipping heck didn't you ask your mum 2 hours ago?
Act 13, at Heathlands. Howard has backed the car up the hill behind the nursing home and has gone in to get the caretaker. Annette is sitting on the open tailgate. The automatic security light that was on goes off. She stands up and waves her arms and it comes on again. She sits back down again next to Mum.
Well, Mum, we finally made it. It was quite a journey. And I'm not just talking about today. I was a clueless 21-year-old playing at being a mummy with a 6-month-old baby when my mother Eva died of that bloody cancer.
The security light goes off.
But you were there for me.
The security light comes back on. Annette looks at it and then at Mum.
I was already pregnant with our second, up to my neck in buckets full of smelly, terry-toweling nappies. Definitely suffering with postnatal depression. Howard was working 12-hour days, and you and Dad would come over, and you sent me to shower and go to bed, and I'd be asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. And when I woke up, the house had been tidied, dinner was in the oven, and Dad was out pushing the pram to get the baby asleep because he didn't want me woken by his crying. I miss him so much. And now you've gone too.
The lights go out and she sits sobbing in the dark.
You were always there for your children and your grandchildren.
The lights come on again. Annette looks at the light and smiles.
I knew you'd acknowledge your grandchildren now. I love you so much.
Howard walks up to Annette.
What do you say? You talking to me? Have you been crying?
Of course I've been crying. What do you expect after a day like today?
Well, this is Jim, the caretaker. He's going to open up the morgue for us.
Oh, hello, Jim. Thank you for opening up. Are you okay?
No.
Jim walks miserably to the steel doors, which open up with a screeching clang.
What's up with him then?
Jolly Jim. He just uses sentence words, one-word answers. One of the residents just told me he's never been known to smile. I even gave him 40 quid, and he just said, Apparently he's a poet from Radcliffe. You know what poets are like, you know what Radcliffe's like.
Well, not really. I guess we don't know what's going on in his life that made him so unhappy. He could have been working on a masterpiece, thinking he'd have a quiet Friday night when a nutcase arrives with a dead mother.
Talk about being unhappy.
Howard looks at his mum and then follows Jim.
Have you got something to carry Mum in?
Jim points to a wheelchair.
Yeah, that might be a bit of a struggle.
Jim points behind Howard to a trolley.
Oh, great.
He pushes it to the car.
Jim, can you grab Mum's legs and I'll take her top off?
No.
She's not very heavy, only about 5 stone.
No.
Howard is shocked.
Why, Jim? Is it because she's dead?
Yes.
I'm really sorry, Jim. She's such a spoil sport. She didn't want to come to the Mulver until she died. I did ask her, but she was very stubborn. How about another £40?
No.
Oh, for goodness sake. I'll carry her, but it'll cost you those new shoes I was telling you about. I can't believe I'm doing this. If you'd have told me yesterday that in 24 hours I'd have been a new member of the Ambulance Union and Undertakers Guild, I'd have said you must be mad. But after today's escapades, I know you're mad. I'll make sure I'm at the cemetery early on Sunday. Early with a spade.
Okay, let's concentrate. I'll pull halfway out of the car and you grab her legs.
Howard and Annette wrestle Mum's body out of the car, struggling, trying to be tender and gentle, but failing hopelessly. This was not an elegant manoeuvre.
Talk about a dead weight. She's tiny, my back's gone. 8 hours in the car hasn't helped. Okay, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
They stagger alongside the trolley, which is a good 3 feet high, but unfortunately, Mum's bottom is almost scraping the ground.
Come on, Annette. Lift her up. I can't do it by myself.
I'm trying. I can't get her any flipping higher.
This will be a good time to be compassionate and change your mind, Jim. Earn your tip.
No.
Blimey. Can I have a discount then?
No.
Okay. We're just going to have to swing her onto the trolley. That's a 1, 2, 3, bang, and she's on.
1, 2, 3, bang. Seriously, bang. Can I remind you that that's your mother you're chucking onto the trolley, not a bag of coal?
It's just a figure of speech. What do you want me to say? 1, 2, 3, fluffy, duffy, contact with the trolley like the sweet kiss of an angel's feather.
Definitely an improvement. Right, let's get it over with. I'm exhausted. I'll be on that trolley in a minute.
Howard and Annette start swinging Mum.
Okay. 1,
2,
2,
3.
Loud crash as the body knocks the trolley and it starts rolling down towards the main road.
Jim, quick, stop the trolley. It's going to cause an accident on the main road.
Annette collapses to her knees laughing, but still holding Mum.
Oh my God, I've wet myself.
Don't walk, run. It's just been walking. There's going to be an accident.
Car tires screech to a halt and muffled swearing can be heard.
There you go. Jim can put 2 words together. So eloquent.
Jim slowly pushes the trolley back to Howard and Annette.
Oh,
This time he holds the trolley.
Okay, Ned. Are you done laughing? This is my mum, you know. And I'm knackered back.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Okay.
Howard and Annette together swing Mum.
One,
two,
2,
3.
Crash! Mum lands on the trolley. Annette bends double, catching her breath. Jim slowly pushes the trolley to the morgue. He stops before the door, letting Howard catch up with him. Howard puts his hand on his mother's head, and trying not to sob, Annette walks over to him and takes his hand as the trolley disappears into the darkness. From the darkness, the silence is suddenly broken.
Don't weep for me at my resting place, as the earth falls over my empty face. For I am not in that dark, damp hole. My body is, but not my soul. You'll see my look in your children's eyes, or in questions asked, seeming far too wise. You may stop to think, am I still here? Embedded in them seems so clear. And when they smile in their sleep, I will have taught them the mystique of love.
Howard starts to shake and then sobs uncontrollably. Annette holds him tight and kisses away the tears from his cheeks. And after a few moments,
See you on Sunday, Mum. Love you.
Love you too, Dolly. God bless. Into this play, and the thing about Howard is whatever happens in life, darkest days, happy days, Howard always has